my favorite songs are slow and sad. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Welcome to the Sad Song Queens podcast, where we dive deep into the songs that make us cry. I'm Laura Webb.
And I'm Lindsay Wolfington.
So today we're going to have Rob Harvilla from 60 Songs That Explain the 90s on, and we're going to be talking about sad Christmas songs. We also are compiling a sad Christmas songs playlist, and the people who help make our podcast, it takes a village to make this podcast, and we have a whole team of people. And so we pulled our team, our wonderful team that helps us get this podcast out to you every week, about their favorite sad songs. So we're going to make a special Spotify playlist of the sad Christmas ones. Maybe we'll even make it separate. And we're going to have Stephanie and May and Avery and Jordan and maybe a few others from our team, and as well as our favorite sad songs, Christmas songs, and Rob's favorite sad Christmas songs. And we have Winnie here with us. She has her little Christmas collar on.
They both have their Christmas collars on.
I know. Look, Winnie has hers. This is Winnie's first Christmas because she is a rescue from Korea, so I don't know if she ever celebrated Christmas, but we're going to make her a little Christmas special. It's my first Christmas with Winnie, so it's a good one.
Yay.
Yay. Winnie, you want to say Merry Christmas? Merry Christmas. I like Snoopy. Charlie Brown Christmas is my favorite.
She's like, why are you doing this to me, Lynn?
I know, she is.
Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Today, we're talking with Rob Harvilla about sad Christmas songs.
It's the season, and we touch on a little bit about there are also sad Christmas songs, and we can feel sad during Christmas, and that's okay. So we wanted to dive into some of our favorite sad Christmas songs.
With someone who knows a ton about music.
Rob Harvilla is a senior staff writer at The Ringer and the creator and host of the acclaimed Spotify original podcast, 60 Songs That Explain the 90s. Known for his sharp humor, heartfelt storytelling, and deep musical knowledge, Rob has 20 years of experience as one of the most distinctive voices in modern music journalism. His work centers on exploring how music shapes nostalgia, using beloved and sometimes forgotten songs to make them accessible to new audiences while drawing on his own personal narratives.
The podcast is now a global fan favorite with thousands of monthly listeners. It has inspired live events, crossover episodes, and a dedicated book, 60 Songs That Explain the 90s. Currently, Rob is expanding the series into the 2000s, bringing his signature mix of insight and humor. We're so thrilled to have him on the podcast today to talk with us about sad Christmas songs.
So grab those tissues and let's get into it, because we all need a good cry. Well, welcome, Rob, to the podcast. We're so happy to have you here.
I'm so happy to be here. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
We are big fans, and we can't wait to hear your opinions on all things sad Christmas.
Yes, this will be fun. I've been to one of your live tapings, which was super fun. It was like a wintry one too, but it was the draft. It was the 90s draft with Yasi.
Ah, yes. Right. Okay. That wasn't the one where I couldn't turn my mic on and a technician had to walk out on stage and help me turn the mic on. That was a better one for you to have seen. The one where that didn't
really?
occur.
Yeah. If that happened, I definitely didn't even remember.
It's on brand, I suppose, but I did not enjoy that in real time. So yeah, you went to another one, and I appreciate it.
That's what tech guys are there for.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're the talent, Rob. You got to get used to being the talent.
Yeah,
can do
right.
I guess.
for
Oh
you.
yes. I'm used to it. I'm very conceited about these things at this point.
So it's the holidays, and we have a sad song podcast. But I feel like Christmas sad songs, holiday sad songs are their own cup of tea, ball of wax. I don't know. Let's see. So we're excited to have you on and chat about it today. Rob was very good. He emailed us his picks beforehand. So
Trying to be professional, trying to keep up the facade.
Well, and some of them I hadn't heard before, so it was good to take a little listen.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
You have a very Ohio-based one.
That's right. There was one that was just there's almost no chance you have ever heard of, which is that's a rock critic move right there. Like you've never heard of Slackjaw. I pulled that move on you, and I feel bad now.
No, that's okay. People always are trying to stump us too as music supervisors, Like they're always like, have you heard this one? And you're like, okay, there are going to be songs we have not heard of. We do not claim.
Does that happen often? How much of your jobs are just like knowing what's going on, like all the new music and just listening to music constantly?
That is predominantly that, but then also it just depends on the project that you're on, because like if it's a period piece or a certain genre, like Lindsay and I work on a K-pop show, so we got to be up on like the latest K-pop, and so it depends, but it is good, especially like when you're meeting on new projects and someone references something, like it's always good to be like, oh yeah, right, got that. Yeah, so I used to try to stay on top of it. It's impossible now. There's too much.
Yeah, digesting music these days is totally different. There's so much coming at us. And then the unsexy part of the job is a lot of it is like clearance and emails with your production, emails with people you're clearing the music with. So there's some days where you're like, did I listen to music today? And that kind of sucks. But,
yeah, because you're like, I got into this job for that, not the, I'm in another meeting.
Right.
Yeah.
Not for the lawyerly stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
But I started off in radio, so that's my background. Like I was a DJ at WBRU in Providence, which was like a modern rock station. So if you ask me anything between 97 and 2001 in the modern rock, Creed, Kid Rock genre.
Oh, sure. I have lots of Kid Rock questions. What was your DJ name?
My DJ name was Maggie Wolf because Wolfington's my last name, but my first name is actually Margaret.
Okay. Maggie Wolf is a credible alt-rock DJ name. Yeah.
Right? Thank you.
Did you ever college DJ or DJ at all?
I was a college DJ, but in the late 90s when we were cable radio and literally nobody could hear us, like literally nobody.
Okay.
But more fun for you.
It was very much fun for me, and especially because in my freshman year, my DJ name was Shaft,
wow.
which was meant ironically, of course. But at the end of my freshman year, they're like, you don't do that anymore. And so I changed it to Brother Fuqua, which I don't even remember the origin of that. I think it was like an inside joke in my freshman dorm.
Sure.
I don't even know what was happening there. Yeah, but
That's
neither of those are
That's
as
amazing.
good or as normal as Maggie Wolf. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into sad Christmas songs.
Please.
All right. Well, I want to hear one of your first picks.
I think I got to start with Charlie Brown, right? I think that's where it all goes back to, for me personally, but also as a society. I feel like that whole Charlie Brown Christmas album, Vince Guaraldi, I just put it on, constantly over the holidays. I guess Christmas time is here. If we're isolating that's the out of tune children's choir singing. The fact that they're out of tune is really important to the sadness, honestly.
It kind of is. Yes.
Yeah.
It's just very odd to think about myself in the early 80s watching a Charlie Brown Christmas and watching like children be sad during the holidays. And they're sad because of the commercialism of the holidays, right? And it's already archaic feeling. The metal trees, I have never seen a metal tree in any other context in my life than a Charlie. I don't know if that's a reference to something that was a fad briefly, or I don't even know what's going on there, but there's already an anachronistic feeling to a Charlie Brown Christmas in 1985, right, versus today. But just the inherent sadness of the season and just spending every Christmas watching Charlie Brown, go through it for a half hour to establish the base emotional tone of the Christmas season. I think that's where all sad Christmas feeling bubbles up from, is Charlie Brown.
And just him walking alone.
Trudging.
I think before we even had the tools to be, what are we sad about or anything, but you just are like, poor Charlie Brown.
Right.
Wait, I feel like I didn't digest Charlie Brown like you guys have. I don't it definitely wasn't I loved the Rudolph.
Oh, sure,
Frosty,
sure.
Santa Claus is coming to town. And I feel like I didn't necessarily watch Charlie Brown every year. So what happens? Give me the synopsis.
Okay.
I think I've watched the Thanksgiving one more recently, so that one is a little more present.
I mean, plot-wise, what happens is Charlie Brown somehow becomes the director of the play of the children's Christmas pageant, and nobody listens to him and everybody dances. There's the scene where everybody's dancing in their own specific way. And he's he's not getting any Christmas cards, and Snoopy, meanwhile, is representing the commercialism of the season. Snoopy puts up this giant light display that wins a light award, and he just Snoopy's doing it for the wrong reasons.
Typical Snoopy.
Typical Snoopy. And then like the play is sort of a debacle, and then Linus recites, I don't know if it's from the Bible or just some sort of Christmas story. Like, what is Christmas all about? And Linus does a brief, spiritual message. And then the other thing is Charlie Brown is tasked with going to get the Christmas tree, and he bypasses all the cool metal trees that are really in like 1955 or whenever this is occurring. And he gets like a really cruddy, downtrodden, tiny, like live Christmas tree that cannot sustain one ornament without falling over. And the kids all sass him about it, and he runs off. But then the kids feel bad, and they take all of Snoopy's lights from the doghouse contest that he won, and they put it on the Christmas tree that Charlie Brown. It's like, it's not such a bad little tree. And then they sing, I think, Hark the Herald Angels Sing, and we're out. I've never had to summarize the plot of a Charlie Brown Christmas professionally before. That was really
very well done, I have to say. I was like, wow, this has incredible.
And I feel like I think some of the kids were more focused on like what they were getting,
sure,
and not the true meaning of Christmas.
Exactly.
And yeah, like I think that was some of it. And then now I'm so struck with like how commercial it's come. Man, Charlie Brown would be like appalled. Yeah, like we are in July and we have Christmas decorations now, so I think Charlie Brown would be like appalled.
Charlie's very disappointed.
I wanted to actually ask you a philosophical question, which is, when do you want to start hearing Christmas music? Like, what day do you consider the true start of Christmas music season?
I feel like after Thanksgiving is
exactly
most appropriate time to start listening to
correct.
Christmas music. My children this year woke up on November 1st.
Oh.
And watched Home Alone 2.
Children doing it is one thing. CVS, doing it is another, right? Like I get itchy when I hear Christmas music before the day after Thanksgiving. It feels spiritually
I'm with you.
wrong.
I can handle it November 15th after. I think.
Sure.
I don't know if this is an adult, I've only lived in LA as an adult, really. So I don't think it's like an LA thing. But I do feel like they're like like My FM or whatever. There's one station that always starts playing around November 15th.
Yes.
And I feel like it's like, we're here, but you don't have to listen to it because all the other stations are playing regular music, right?
I know, but I feel like you have to recognize, let's sit with Thanksgiving for a minute and then let's move on. Let's enjoy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember growing up, we'd always drive to New Orleans. My family's from New Orleans, so we'd have like the big extended. And then on the drive home, we would always listen to Amy Grant's Christmas album.
Oh, that's a great one.
And so that was like the hit. We'd be driving back from New Orleans, and we'd always be listening to that.
El Shaddai. There's some jams on Amy Grant's Christmas. Yeah.
Oh, it's still, I was listening to it yesterday to prepare because one of mine is from there. And
all right. I was going to ask if she had a sad one. I bet she does. Yeah.
She does. And actually, yeah, I'll just dive into mine. So, well, it's interestingly, so I did Tennessee Christmas, which I have never spent Christmas in Tennessee, but I can relate. The whole concept is that, and I remember even feeling like looking out the car window, being young and just being emo even then, but it's sort of, you're picturing like the song's kind of about like, I hear that there's more snow up in Colorado.
Right.
There's these, what a lovely sunny up in California that could be. So you're kind of wishing for like, oh, that looks amazing. That could be great. But then sort of the nostalgia of being home, or what was the tradition of hopefully you had a happy, which seems like she did, and valuing where your roots are and kind of that. So it's just that like nostalgia. I think why it's so sad is sort of hitting into the nostalgia and just feeling that tenderness. And I think, it's the way she sings it too, I feel like, is just sort of lots of warmth. Yeah, other places are great, but value where you are and that kind of thing, which is a really nice message. But I just remember always being like, feeling it. And I think the album even starts with that song, if I'm correct. But yeah. And then it was interesting because I was like, oh, I haven't listened to my Amy Grant yet this year. And I've gone through some loss in my family, and it just keeps, as we get older, it keeps happening. And then there's a song on her album, which I know the whole album, obviously, but Heirlooms, which is it just hit different now that I've lost more people, and it's like, and just over Thanksgiving, we were looking back on photographs, like who's there, who's not. And it just hits way different than when you're in your youth. So that one now became more sad to me. So Yeah.
I was going to say, we're having a real heavy Christmas season here for the first time. It's sort of the first time that I'm approaching the cheerfulness of the season warily, right? Like I'm not apart from it, but like we're just trying to get through this, right? Like it's tonally very complex. But a lot of when I thought about what are the sad Christmas songs, it was a lot like what you're saying, where like the songs that made me happiest when I was 8 years old feel different now, right? You know, it's not like I'm on death's door or anything, but like the difference between approaching Christmas as a parent versus approaching Christmas as a wide-eyed little kid, like that's the music hits different, you know, and there's a melancholy now to Rolf and John Denver singing Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas that was not present for me, you know, when I was 9. So I get you.
Right.
I get you.
We lost my father over the holidays. Well, this will be 3 years now.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah. And so it's also like, you know, where you were, how does that not bring up?
The anniversary, of course. Yeah.
Right. And so, yeah, I think prior to this, always Christmas had been really like, I'd been fortunate enough that I really had a loving family. It was always really happy. And now it's this, oh, yeah. And like some of all these people being happy, you're like, I don't fucking want to see it.
No, that's right. Yeah. The contrast between your feeling and everybody else's feeling. That's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I think now I've been gravitating. I think we have always, well, obviously we like sad songs. We have a podcast about it. But in Christmas, it always was like, oh, I love all the happy ones. And now I'm like, no, I like my emo Christmas. Like we're there. Yep. Yeah.
It feels so, it's like the opposite of, you know, we talk about like kids' Christmas and we talk about Christmas now. And I feel like in college, my Christmases felt really emo.
Why?
Because like everything was fine and like fun. But I'm the youngest of 5 kids and my oldest sibling is like 10 years older than I am. And my closest sibling is 6 years older than I am. We would have like dinner and they'd go out and either like hang out with friends or like be with their spouses or they were starting to have kids. So I was in that like, I want that romantic love on Christmas. And I think that's where I felt like the loneliness of not being coupled up when so many people in my family already were. So and since we kind of touched on it, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas is like my favorite saddest Christmas song and my favorite Christmas song.
Yeah. Which version?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love the Coldplay version that they released in 2001. K-Rock in LA used to do a Christmas album and it was on, like the first time I heard it, it was released on their Christmas album. Although when I go to find it on Spotify, it's a BBC recording, but it's from the same year. So I don't know if they like repurposed it or made 2 recordings, but it seems the K-Rock one may only exist on a CD out in the ether somewhere. But Judy Garland, I mean, always hits. The Coldplay version is basically just Chris Martin and a piano.
Right.
And I think that simplicity of it and sincerity of his performance is what makes it so like, not necessarily sad, but just like pure melancholy.
It's the line, right? Like through the years, we'll always be together if the fates allow, right? Like that's not a line that means anything to you when you're a kid. And now it does. And it might just be that simple for me.
Agreed. And it's just, there's just something in it. There's so much layers to it where on the surface you're like, oh, that's nice. You're wishing me. And then you're like, no, there's more to this. Like that is hard for me to say that to you clearly, like in how they're performing it. They're like, I'm doing this, but this is hard.
Yeah.
The chord changes in it too are just genius.
Who wrote that one?
Let me look it up. It's owned by, it was written to Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it was. You're right.
So it's funny. I never saw that movie until my son wanted to watch it. And I was like, okay, let's check it out. Oh, Hugh Martin and Ralph Blaine.
Lindsay and I did this Christmas movie and it just came out, but we had been working on it. We worked on it over like 2 Christmas seasons and then like throughout the year. When we were starting, we're like, do you have a lot of money? Because Christmas music is very expensive. And it's just they can charge what they can charge. So.
And we used Christmas Time Is Here.
Oh, do you?
We did.
We used a cover of Christmas Time Is Here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I think this maybe goes back to why I didn't watch it a lot as a kid. Maybe it was because it was like more melancholy.
Yeah, it's
maybe
right.
Again, you can watch it as a kid and get the joy out of it. It's not like it makes you sad. if you're not sad, you know, and it's just, if you love Charlie Brown and you like read Peanuts, like you sort of know Charlie Brown's vibe. Like it's just, this is just the way it is. And just, it's wild to think that such a formative text of my youth is so melancholy and downtrodden and is just like a little kid who's just getting screwed by everyone everywhere all the time. Like that's the joke and it never ends. Like it's very weird to think about the totality of the sadness of Charlie Brown, but like it's not that it's a huge downer because the music is beautiful and Snoopy, right? And they're dancing. Like it's tonally very well balanced, but it is very easy now as an adult to just hyper focus on the very obvious. It's not even subtext, like just the total melancholy and wariness and confusion, you know, and everybody else has got it figured out, but I don't vibe, you know, that's just totally unambiguously there.
No, I've related with Charlie Brown my whole life. I'm
Sure.
like, what else are you all not seeing? Yeah. And for obvious reasons, we've always had beagles, so Snoopy was
deal.
a big part in our house. And
Sure.
yeah, Snoopy reigned supreme.
This is like my third kind of runner-up, and
Okay.
also on a K-Rock acoustic Christmas album was Linkin Park, My December.
Oh,
Like,
I don't know it.
I was a big Linkin Park fan, but it is like if you are depressed, this song is coming for you. This is my December. This is my time of the year. The whole thing is like I'd give it up to have someone to come home to. It's a really lonely Christmas song.
Oh. Did
so-
Chester write it?
I was going to
Chester,
say,
right? Yeah, but it also has the Mike Shinoda rapping. Like, do you know it, Rob?
I don't know that I know it, and I am embarrassed to say so. I did, you know, an episode of Linkin Park, and I got to check it out. It sounds very heavy, especially now, of course, but yeah, that sounds like a lot. A good original Christmas song from this century is hard to come by, of course, and so that's extra impressive.
Chester always brought that melancholy and darkness
He
to
did.
stuff, sadly.
Did they release it like as a Christmas single?
No, so again, yeah, I think the first time they performed it was at a K-Rock Acoustic Christmas in 2001. K-Rock was the only radio station that had it at first, right?
Mm-hmm.
They like recorded exclusively for them, and the only way you could get it was to buy the K-Rock Christmas CD.
Mm-hmm.
But now if you go look for it, it shows up on Hybrid Theory.
Oh.
If you look
Really?
it up online.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
Are there
I don't remember.
jingling bells? Is there like a sonic Christmas element?
It's mostly piano, and then it has that like, you know, the like the DJ stuff
yes.
that Mike
the
Shinoda puts
scratching.
Oh
on
my,
things.
yes. Oh yeah.
Not gonna beatbox for you. any
Please
more
do.
than that.
Thank you for that.
I don't think there are any bells.
It's too bad.
You know, speaking of that, I never thought of as a Christmas song, and then we asked our team of people that work with us, because as you know, it takes a village to make these podcasts,
does.
and we were asking them their favorite sad songs. And I never thought of Joni Mitchell River as a Christmas song. Now I can't not hear it.
Oh, I meant to put that on there too. My
Yeah.
a cappella group sang that in college, and it was that was the first time I'd ever heard it.
Yeah, I didn't ever think of it as, but then you're like, it starts with the Jingle Bells.
It's coming
Yes.
on Christmas.
There you
in the
go.
lyrics.
That's it.
I know. Yeah. But, and it even starts with bells, and I don't know why. I think
It
because
starts with jingle bells. Literally,
I know.
Dun, dun, dun,
I know. I just
dun,
never thought of it until like thinking of it in context of a sad Christmas song. I don't know.
I'm glad you brought it up because it is like
It's beautiful.
I think
Yeah,
that
it's
became
beautiful.
like, I don't follow the UK like charts, like Christmas #1 thing, but didn't somebody, I can't think of her name, but like an English pop star covered it and it became a huge UK #1. It was probably 5 to 10 years ago.
Yeah, because they always do that. The John Lewis advert for them, which is like one of their department stores, they always do like a sad Christmas cover.
Ellie Goulding covered it.
Thank you.
Looks
That's
she
that's
went
who I
number
was
one
thinking
in
of.
2019.
That makes sense. Yeah.
It looks like Miley Cyrus has covered
sure.
it too, which charted in 2023.
I'm sure she did a great job of it. All right, Rob, well, let's hear another one of yours.
I'm curious about the phenomenon of like new Christmas music stops with Mariah almost. Like it is so hard to mint like a new entrant in the canon. Casey Musgraves, it's now 5 to 10 years ago. Casey Musgraves put out a Christmas album, a very Casey Christmas. And it's easily like the new Christmas album from the last 10 years that I've enjoyed. Like this is it pretty much. And she has a song
Completely agree.
actually called Christmas Makes Me Cry. and it's a very spare, and I love her voice, and the sentiment of it is it's not like crushing grief, but it has some of that Charlie Brown feeling of like, I'm trying to get up, and I'm trying to match, the good cheer radiating all around me, but I can't quite do it. And I'm still having a good time, and I'm still enjoying myself, but there is this undertone of like, I can't be as happy as apparently everybody else is, and that makes me sad. And it's like, it's very, there's no subtext to this one at all, but like as a very direct way of articulating, again, a feeling that Charlie Brown ingrained in me from when I was 5. Like I really appreciated this song's directness and just calling it out, and making you feel okay for feeling it.
No, I completely agree. And I agree with you. That album is, I don't know why it's not more celebrated, because I try to, well, and especially with like our job, and too, like when we're trying to find like, okay, what's the new Christmas song? Because like, what year did Mariah's come out in? Like the 90s, right?
Early
like,
90s.
Early
to
90s?
mid 90s. It was extremely 90s. Yes.
Yeah. And people ask us like, oh, what are the new, so I would say I like Ribbons and Bows, and I like that song she does with
that's a good one.
Leon Bridges. Presents Without a Bow. That one's really good.
Yes.
I like that one. And then I would say like Sia's Candy Cane Lane. That one's more upbeat. That's not sad, but that one I feel.
And Kelly Clarkson.
Sure.
Which
Kelly,
one?
That's right.
So if you go and play like Christmas hits, you will get Candy Cane Lane is like it hits.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Clarkson, You're Here.
That's a top 40 song.
I can't tell you the title of it.
Every year, the same way Mariah is. It's not number 1, but Kelly Clarkson's. I don't know the title of that one, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because it's in that same camp as the Mariah Please Come Home, and right, like they literally like, let's take these chords and just put them in different order and like give it that Phil
like a
Spector
re-gift.
sound.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Yeah, I know. Artists definitely try. And we definitely listened to a lot of them when we were working on that Christmas this movie, Jingle Bell Heist. I think we listened to so much Christmas music. Like, I'm now ready to listen to Christmas music again. But I was like, we were listening in January.
It's hard to listen in January.
That's a very unnatural, nauseating feeling to be listening to that.
No, and I like, because my window to my office is like out, like people walk by and I could see people going like, is this person insane? Listening like right, because like
break,
like I can't let Christmas go.
Right.
So
to the Casey song, I hadn't heard it before you've sent it, and our coordinator also, it's one of her favorite sad songs. But the chords aren't that sad. So it's like I feel like the sadness is almost exclusively in the lyrics, don't you think?
and in the vocal performance.
Or maybe they just didn't hit me like that.
She has like a wistful,
She does. Yes.
Yeah. There's like a layer there that you're like kind of in the Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, and it's just like,
yes.
Yeah, there's an extra layer that you're like, oh, it's not just at face value. Speaking of, I'll say, I mean, this one, a lot of people, and obviously it's probably second played as much as Mariah's, but Wham's Last Christmas, where people think it's happy, but when you listen to those lyrics, it's heartbreaking. And then thinking of like George Michael's life,
who died on Christmas, who literally died on Christmas.
I know. And just like, he wasn't out then either. So even singing through that heartbreak and just like what his personal struggles, which we now know, and then him and Andrew originally breaking up, like all that. So it's sort of like the Whitney Houston, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Like we had in another film we worked on, we had this artist cover it, and you're like, right, those lyrics are really heartbreaking if you strip it all away. Like, the production's 80s, fantastic, amazing, but it's pretty heartbreaking, I think. I'm always like, I feel for him.
Wait, I forgot that he died on Christmas, so like that's...
Yeah.
I had to write George Michael's obituary on Christmas night, whatever year that.
You did?
16, 17. It was,
Oh.
That's a tough one. Like playing board games with my parents while listening to George Michael, like to prepare or whatever. It's always nice to hear his voice again. But yeah, that was a rough one.
Oh, that's really sad.
What was the most interesting thing that you didn't know that you included?
I'm trying to think. Like sort of what you were saying about he wasn't out then. Like the last Christmas video, if I recall correctly, is just him and Andrew like on a ski vacation with some girls, and there's some intrigue, and it's like, all right, so this is all a facade, that he can't feel super good about. I always love the outpouring of love, that comes, when someone passes and everyone just starts playing their songs and celebrating them. And it's like, it's not that I didn't know that George Michael was beloved, but just the increased wave of affection for him. And especially because it was on Christmas, and Last Christmas could be part of that conversation in real time. Like just, it's how much he meant to so many people. That's always somehow surprising to me, when this happens, up to and including like a Michael Jackson or somebody, like just the phase where that everybody is listening to the same person again. Like you get that 80s monoculture feeling back, when Prince dies, for example, Tom Petty, whoever it is, like just the collective sense of mourning is a very, of course, devastating, but also kind of heartening thing that at least, we're celebrating this person. And to have it happen on Christmas night, to someone with, the second biggest modern Christmas song, like that's a really heavy thing, but a cool thing at the same time.
I love that he quietly gave to so many people, that he was so charitable, but he did it he didn't want any fanfare, which I think is the best way to give, because you're doing it not for your tax write-off. Maybe he was too, but like how charitable he was to so many. Yeah. It paints such a lovely picture that he's just quietly behind the scenes. Sprinkling fairy dust. I like to think of them like that. So yeah. So with writing obituaries, don't they kind of compile it as, I've heard this, that it's like kind of compiled, like ready to go, like, and there's even editors or writers that kind of like work on that for notable figures?
I've never been in that machine, but that's absolutely true. Like Rolling Stone, advertised, like has people on deck, has obituaries on deck. Like a canonical example, like Aretha Franklin, right? Like Aretha Franklin had a series of like major health scares, leading up to her death, and so you can hit send on that one, 5 seconds after you get the news. So yes, and it's true of the New York Times as well. It would be smarter of me to do it that way, to have any sort of idea, but I never do, right? And so it's a weird, I haven't had to do them so much lately, but when I started at The Ringer in 2016, like I was one of the oldest writers. And so it's like, well, you were alive in the 80s, so we're like, when one of the Eagles dies, like you're going to have to, it's like, okay,
you knew them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You at least heard them on the radio or whatever. So it's a weird thing to sort of wake up one morning and be like, Jimmy Buffett died. Like, what do you know about Jimmy Buffett? I'm like, and like, but to piece it together, like, more than you think you do. And I just try to start with like one song or one moment and radiate outward. And it's like, you're not going to get anything approaching 5% of somebody's whole life, writing 1,500 words in 2 hours, but you do what you can, and you just try and isolate a little piece of it and hope that it comes through. But yes, a bigger shop like the New York Times or Rolling Stone, like they're on top of it. And I understand it. Like it's got to be a weird feeling that somebody is out there, writing, X artists, obituary in advance. But I totally get like why you want that on deck, and not just for cynical like SEO purposes. Like you want to do this person justice, and you have to do it. You can't do it that quickly, so you have to do it in advance. I understand it.
I think we feel it a little bit, but for so long, especially in like music culture, you were probably the young guy, the young hip guy, right? So what was that transition to go like, oh, you're the oldest guy here, you get the 80s?
No, dude. I know.
We feel that going to concerts now.
I feel that going, oh man, I feel so old. It's hilarious. I don't think I felt young and hip even when I was young and hip. You know what I mean? In retrospect, I never had a moment where I was like, I'm on top of this. And like, I know, like I never had that smug record store employee elitism feeling ever. And maybe that's better for me as a person, but it's sort of a bummer to me at the same time. So yeah, like when I started at the Ringer in 2016, like I was explicit again, I was the older guy, and I didn't know then that I was going to do a podcast about 90s music, and become like lean in to the nostalgia element. But you definitely feel it as you cross into your 30s, and then as you cross into your 40s. It's just trying to listen to new rap music now. It's just like I feel like my head is broken, and like that's the way it's supposed to be, right? Like youth culture is supposed to be alienating. Like 6-7 is supposed to be like maddeningly opaque to people like us. Like that's the point of being a teenager, is to disquiet adults. Like I support it. I get it. I don't get it, but I get that I'm not supposed to get it, So I am more at peace now with my washedness than I was, at 35 or whatever. But there was never like a moment where I woke up, and I was like, I'm not cool anymore. I was uncool the whole time. So that softened the blow somewhat, I think.
I thought you were going to go, I'm still cool.
Also, I'm still cool. On another level, I'm extremely cool.
That's right.
There we go.
I'm sure your sons are like, no, but you're still cool.
They are not. Yeah. They do not care.
Yeah.
How old are your kids?
Man, I got a 14 and 12-year-old boys and then a 5-year-old girl. So wow,
Aww.
what a spectrum. You mentioned the K-pop show. K-pop Demon Hunters is the cultural story of this household this year.
Yeah.
Rob, you want to hit us with another one?
So like real quick, I'll just do the hyper local one I hit you guys with, and I don't even know why I pulled this out. It's growing up in Cleveland, you're an alt rock DJ. So like the alt rock Cleveland radio station 107.9, The End, was hugely important to me. And they would play a Christmas song called Christmas Time in Painesville being an actual, suburb of Ohio, by a local band called Slackjaw. And it's like an upbeat tune, but like it's a my girlfriend dumped me and I'm alone on Christmas type thing. Like there's a reference to Vince Guaraldi. Like I wonder all through breakfast if Vince Guaraldi's still alive. Like it tries to connect to Charlie Brown, but it's just a song that would get played on Cleveland alt rock radio every year that is totally impenetrable to anyone who is not listening to Cleveland alt rock radio. But it's very important to me. The other one I put on this list was Paul McCartney's Wonderful Christmas Time.
This was mind-boggling.
Well, I think it's the exact feeling we've been talking about, the difference between hearing it as a kid and hearing it now. I heard it as a kid and it was, I think of the fat Christmas lights, and just the sheer joy, overwhelming, Santa's coming tomorrow, this is awesome feeling of being an 8-year-old, going sledding, like just the uncomplicated joy of Christmas versus now, where it's joy, but it's more complicated joy, and if grief is a part of that, and just the difference between experiencing Christmas as a kid versus experiencing Christmas as an adult, like all these songs that I loved when I was a kid, hit different, I guess is the corny way to say it. But it's just, it's not that it's a sad song now, but there's just stuff around the edges now, and there's, a contrast between, what this song brought up for me when I was 8 and what it brings up for me now. It's and the song's not different, of course, but I just hear it different, and that's an interesting thing.
Well, even the way that, I don't know if that's like Moog or whatever that they're playing, that very like synth, like whatever.
It drove me crazy. I actually.
Oh,
I
love it.
I was like, this was my least favorite Christmas song growing up.
It's a strong spice. It's like very corny.
I love Paul. I love you, Paul. This is not my song.
But I love it because it's so different that I love that. But even that sort of like, it's not all bright and cheery in the way.
Right.
It's kind of a mid, so I'm like, I can tap into some melancholy with that one. I get it.
It just feels like it's like a jig in a song.
Yeah, no, it's
like simply
right. It's a very gritted teeth type feeling. Yeah, and it's that's.
What did you like it as a kid, and that's part of what makes it sad
totally
now?
Yeah, totally,
okay.
totally. You know, and I remember, you know, I can picture myself in like my grandma's basement with everyone gathered around the pool table that's got like we've converted it into a dinner table, you know, and there's Christmas lights all over the place and we're eating our pork chops and the radio's on, right? Like there's like a transistor radio type sonic quality is very important to this as well. And then you hear Wonderful Christmas Time, and then you hear right after that, you know, John Lennon, War Is Over If You Want It. Like it's, you know, like the 2 hours of music on a loop, you know, many of the songs we've already talked about here, you know, that you would hear during that 1985 Christmas experience. Like, yeah, all of those feel different to me now, but you know, the ones that have not a forced, but just like a really intense cheerfulness that can't help but also radiate some sadness. Like, yeah, this is the one that's changed the most for me, I think, over time.
All right, I just want to throw out there that my real second saddest Christmas song is Old Lang Syne, end of It's a Wonderful Life. Cry every time, and again, it's almost like the hope and nostalgia in the song that just like, and the whatever chords in there gets me. And yeah, that's an immediate cry moment every year.
I respect it.
Well, and may old acquaintances be forgot. I mean,
yeah, or never brought to mind. And then really just repeats. Let old acquaintance be forgotten, Old Lang Syne.
And just like, I think when people harmonize together. And
Oh,
just
yeah.
And sing together, right? Yeah.
the community. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the hope. Again,
imperfectly too.
the hope, like you hope. Hope's a sad one and a hard one. Yeah.
Anyone we didn't touch on, Laura, that you want to throw in?
Well, I actually have a new one, and I'm actually even surprised because I just recently discovered it because we, you know, I feel like we've listened to a lot, but it ties into kind of, it's Tom Walker, and it's For Those Who Can't Be Here, and for obvious reasons. It's devastating, and I find it, I'm very relevant, and it's about, I mean, literally just that feeling like we're supposed to be happy, but we have to remember the people that aren't here. And they say, like, this is the first Christmas without him. Sitting around the table just feels different. But that one was one of those, which I love when I can hear a new song and it just immediately, like, punches you in the heart, you know? And that one is really beautiful. And the way he sings it is really nice.
Is it country? It sounds country.
No. I think even Tom's British. Like, I feel like I've used some of his music.
Brit, indie rock singer songwriter probably.
Yeah, I mean, we love we're such Anglophiles with music. Yeah, and I've used some of his other music, but I hadn't heard of this one. But it's really beautiful, and I immediately was like crying yesterday. I was wrapping presents, and it came on, and I was like, "What?"
Jeez.
And I haven't had one of the. I mean, you know, we love sad songs clearly, but
Clearly.
and I love when just like one really floors you. Yeah, that one's a new one, and you know, new discovery. But it's really good and it's really beautiful, and I found it obviously relevant. So, and you don't hear as many of those songs during the holidays too, right? Like so much of it is cheery and all that. So it was nice to add another one to my list.
Rob, you don't have to share, we don't have to include, but have you experienced loss this year? It seems like.
You know, I talked about it a little bit. We lost my father-in-law, you know, in the spring.
I'm so sorry.
You know, so thank you. But yeah, it's just, so this will be, you know, what Tom Walker is articulating is, you know, this is the first time, you know, like Thanksgiving was rough, you know, and it's just, and again, it's not, we got a 5-year-old, you know, running around, you know, like we've got the joy, you know,
Which
the
helps.
wonder,
Yeah.
which helps. But, you know, there's, you know, and then we got the sullen teenagers, you know, who are trying to talk to the 5-year-old about Santa and are like, we will kill you if you mess this. Like there's a lot of dynamics going on. But no, the dominant, you know, feeling of this year is loss, you know, and we've been fortunate enough to not really have that of this magnitude before. Yeah. So again, it's feeling genuinely the cheeriness and the joy of the season, you know, but just trying to protect yourself a little bit from it and to, you know, acknowledge also the sadness of it, and, you know, to let those things mingle, but not cancel each other out, you know, or poison each other. I don't know what I'm saying, but yeah, this is a heavier one.
Yeah, you look on like Instagram or all these, and all the commercials are so happy, and you're like,
yeah,
I'm not mirroring that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a new one. Yeah. And I feel for those people who've like had the tough Christmases. Like I know I'm fortunate that I'm in my 40s and that I feel this now, but I feel for like Lindsay, I don't know if you listened, but I had never heard of this. Stephanie, who is one of our editors for the podcast, she brought up this song by Nat King Cole, The Little Boy That Christmas Forgot. Oh my God, is that dark? But it's writing from that. But it's beautiful too. But Nat King Cole's basically like about a child that like his dad is not around. He has no presence. You're like, oh God. But that one, it's really beautiful. But yeah, that one's definitely a sad one for sure. Yeah.
Your outrageous good fortune. You feel that
and like
always,
putting it back of like,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, also I didn't bring this up. I feel this time of year, I think we're all like kind of introspective too. Like, I don't know if you all are like, I'm thinking about, because there's all the end of the year lists, right? And
right.
You're like, yeah, what is my like, or like, what did I accomplish this year? What, as I go into January, am I going to make a resolution or those kind of things? So I think some of that is hard to not also think about in a, wistful, sad way too. Kind of like, oh, another year's passing and that kind of thing. I think sometimes, I don't know, it makes me a little melancholy personally. Yeah. Or bittersweet.
Gets you thinking.
Yeah. Did you have one?
I mean, the other one that I just like dallied with was I'll Be Home for Christmas, which is inherently
Yeah.
If
sad,
only,
but
in,
only
my
in
dreams.
my dreams.
Exactly. Yeah.
Any specific person who covers it?
It's funny. It came on last night. I mean, I think it was Andy Williams, but then also Ingrid Michaelson does a really good job. She actually made a Christmas album, and she has a song called, I think it's Happy Christmas, that has the same
that is a good
vibe
one.
as Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, too.
That's a good one. Tying it all back, I was over at Lindsay's house last night with her kids. We all celebrate. Well, we try to.
My husband doesn't decorate, so Laura steps
I'm
in to
the
decorate.
honorary
very
fifth
kind
member
of you.
the family, I guess.
Okay.
Or as your kids, early on, I'm their special friend, which kind of sounds creepy, but no, but it's cute. But we decorate the tree together. We've been doing that since they were little bitty. But I brought over a Peanuts Christmas puzzle, and we were doing the Snoopy's doghouse has the first prize, and it's all decorated, and then Charlie Brown's
the
Christmas
arrow
tree
pointing at it.
Yep. And it has the first place prize. And we were doing that puzzle last night. So full circle.
And now Charlie Brown is the consumerism. She bought the puzzle.
Right,
We're
right.
doing the puzzle.
Well, that's the
But if I'm
irony
going to support anything, I'll
capitalism.
support the Peanuts, right? Like,
Exactly. Charles Schultz, his empire is one of the more cheerful empires, I suppose.
Yeah.
To finish, is there anything on the horizon that you want to let us know about, or what are you doing that's new or the same?
What am I doing that's new and also the same? The podcast is into the 2000s now, the aughts.
Yes.
It's officially now called 60 Songs That Explain the 90s, the 2000s. That's very amusing to me. We're coming back in January as video. Video is available. It is not necessary, but it is available. I do not flourish on camera. Generally, I wince when I talk. I don't know if I've been doing this a lot, probably involuntarily. So this is going to be interesting. I don't know. I got all this equipment in my house. I got giant lights pointed at my face. I'm new to all these things. I got to hook up the cam link to the other thing. It's a lot. A lot of really mortifying Zoom meetings where people try and walk me through what is very obvious to them and is not at all obvious to me. That will be back in January. So that's a thing that I'm doing that is the same, but also crucially different.
I listened to your Jeff Buckley episode that just came out. Jeff Buckley is desert island, everything. He's everything. And we feel that pain as making podcasts too, as that everyone keeps being like, where's the video? Where's the video? And you're like, well, when we started this, we were behind the scenes purposely. Like, what? No, we
Exactly.
don't want to.
Well, and I'm curious, are you doing it like this? Like, are you interviewing people remotely, or everybody's coming to Columbus?
That nobody's coming to Columbus.
But didn't Amy, isn't that director? You guys looked like you were
I
in the
went
same
to
room.
LA. I did. I interviewed her at an
Okay.
actual Spotify at the Ringer office in LA. And that happens. I go out there once a year, twice a year, maybe. My podcasts are like a monologue and then an interview. And like the interview having to be remote on video is concerning to me. The monologue itself will be just kind of this backdrop, adjusted. And then like putting like the music video clips on screen, like still photos of like the album covers or whatever, the lyrics, there's a show called Dissect I don't know if you know it, but he does like track by track and like line by line, analysis of rap albums. And he went to video, Cole Kushner, and he's walked me through it. Like he's been invaluable to me. And so it's like what he's doing, like he did 10 seasons audio and now he's doing video. And like, I'm sort of modeling his transition, and it's more the same than it is different. I hope, but it's a different kind of vibe. And yeah, it's harder for me to picture the interview part of it, because I'm going to have to ask the people I'm interviewing, who are sometimes journalists, who are not people who are podcasters, who are not people who particularly want to be on camera at all. Like I'm going to have to ask them to be on camera. I don't know how that's going to work. There's a lot of challenges.
I feel like a lot of people are kind of getting used to it, I think.
I guess so. Yeah. They can, they've got enough of a home office backdrop that they can be comfortable with. But it's an interesting new way to think about just a camera pointed at my face all the time.
It sounds like for the editor too, that's going to be a lot more intensive. Yeah, right?
Yes.
God bless your editors. We love our editors.
God bless my editors. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I think also the good part with your transition is people already know you. Like you've been out there for so long. So like
that's true.
The quirks that you're self-conscious about, I don't think people care about,
I think you're right. No, yeah, that's, now that I've got 2 kids in middle school, having to tell them that nobody's thinking about them, 1% as hard as they're thinking about themselves.
Oh my God. I tell my daughter this all the time. I have 15 and 13, so I'm just right.
Okay, you're in it too. So it's self-consciousness. Very low self-esteem, vibe in this household overall, but we're all getting through it together.
And I guess, Rob, while we have you, what are some of your favorite sad songs non-Christmas?
Let It Be by the Beatles. Maybe
heard
you've
of them. I have. I'm a little familiar.
Paul McCartney again, right? Like, it's not even that it's a sad song. There's something overwhelming emotionally about Let It Be. You know what always gets me is theater. Like just the experience. Yes. It's not like I didn't go to many Broadway plays when I lived in New York. I wish I'd gone to more, but something about the totality of the experience. Like my kids got into Hamilton.
Yes.
Right. And we're like X years late to Hamilton or whatever, but something about this scope of Hamilton, and it satisfied the Angelica's song in Hamilton is really doing it for me right now. Let It Be is a big one.
But Let It Be, I get it. It has this wish to come together and just like be.
Please let it be.
Right?
Yes, exactly. The aspirational.
And the Mother Mary, it's like I don't know. It's a lot of comforting stuff in there.
And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me.
Yeah.
Is it Sufjan or Sufjan Stevens? I should know this, but I do not. But there's Sufjan. All right. On the Illinois album. And like all the song titles are whimsical, right? But it's this song about the girl dying of cancer. It's Kazimir Pulaski Day,
yes.
I think is the one.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
That will reliably make me cry. And that's nice. I value that experience when I have that experience.
Agreed.
Honestly. Yeah. I respect it. And so that's, if I had to cry on camera for any reason, which hopefully will never occur, but thinking about that song is probably the closest.
We'll bring you back and make you listen to it.
Yeah, we'll
get tears out of you.
There we go. That would be great.
When we start launching our whole video version, we're gonna just get people to cry.
That's right. Yeah. I'll be a video expert by then, and I'll nail it.
We'll come to you for tech advice too. It'll be amazing.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Please do. I know all kinds of shit.
Well, this was so fun. Love picking your brain.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming today and chatting with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, and Merry Christmas and
Happy holidays.
These songs. Yes.
That's right.
Thank you for joining us today on Sad Song Queens, because you always need a good cry. We will link these songs on our show page as well as our Spotify playlist. Please also be sure to like, comment, and subscribe wherever you find podcasts.
Huge thanks to Rob Harvilla. Special production thanks to Miles Bergsma, Stephanie Gangle, Avery Piantadozzi, Rob Carter, Jordan Lindsley, and our producer, May Rogers. Our theme song is All My Favorite Songs by Weezer, and our outro music is by Wyatt Rouse.